Good morning and welcome to the morning show with Angel and Tina. Super excited to have you all joining us today. Tina, how are you doing?
I am doing fabulous. It is Wednesday, but don't you feel like I already feel like it's Friday?
It could be Friday. Wouldn't that be nice if it was already Friday?
Right?
It's been a week
Yes,
already.
right. I just feel like the last couple of weeks have been just because we have so much going on. I feel like the days are like dragging on, and like I'm just ready for the weekend to hit. Not that the weekend makes anything different. So I don't have to get up and take a shower. Well, we have a fabulous guest in our studio audience today. Welcome, Kimberly and Mindee.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, everybody.
We were just talking in the green room about our favorite shopping places to go, and Angel just
discovered Kirkland's. Well,
Kirkland's.
Yeah, they don't have Kirkland's in Colorado, or if they do, not anywhere near me. I never been.
My whole entire house is decorated in Kirkland's stuff.
Okay, like, so Kimberly and Mindee, you've heard of Kirkland's? You know about Kirkland's?
I don't think we have them here. If I'm like you, maybe they just don't have them around me or something, but I've never heard of it.
And Kimberly,
oh my gosh, ladies, we had one.
I'm in Dallas.
In Dallas, okay. And so, Mindee, you said you had one?
We had one, yes. Here, I'm in New Jersey, and it was in my closest mall. And all of a sudden, as some other stores have just left the mall due to everything that's happening in the world, and I'm in Kirkland withdrawal. In fact, this candle holder right in front of me is from Kirkland's.
I have those same candle holders.
Kirkland withdrawals. Like, this is a thing now.
When I had my house in Atlanta, I went probably at least once a month because my whole entire house, and you guys know I love to decorate like every season, and that's how I got all my stuff. So last weekend I went to Kirkland's and I found these amazing, I love candles, but I found these amazing candles. Of course, they're pink. And this one is vanilla blush. And oh my gosh, if you guys have smell-o-vision.
So Tina, you told us you didn't get out of bed. You stayed home. Like, you didn't do anything, but you secretly went off shopping to Kirkland's.
Well, I don't have to take a shower to go to Kirkland's. I just put a hoodie on, put my New York hat, and put my sunglasses on, and put my mask on. Nobody knows who I am.
Nobody knows who you are. Yeah, I know. The mask and sunglasses and hat thing, like, it is total disguise. Like, nobody has any idea who you are.
Right? And they don't know who I am. They'd be like, if I went in Atlanta, they'd be like, Tina, is that you? Here, nobody knows me. Be like, hey, I'll be right back.
Okay, all right. So Kimberly, so no Kirkland's for you. Do you have a go-to favorite that you like secretly sneak out to?
Shopping's just never really been my thing. Now everything's Amazon just because, you don't leave your house again. But, that I just never got out a whole lot shopping wise.
Amazon.
I did all my shopping when I was on vacation.
Amazon has been my best friend. I think Amazon comes to my house at least 3 times a day.
Yeah.
Hello.
In fact,
now we're talking.
I just ordered the 2 things that Alicia was on our show yesterday, and she had this little, what was it? A little 3D 360 thing that when you
it was for your phone, but it follows you, so it's on a little rotator, and so as you're walking around, it chases.
Mindee goes, I have it. Hold on, what is this? No, it's like a little. It's on a tripod, but it's like a little. It's round thing, and it kind of moves.
It's that same technology, though, Mindee.
Okay, because this rotates around as well.
Yeah, but it's round. You just put your phone on it just sets on there.
So it's great for those of us who are doing videos and doing TikTok stuff and Facebook Live stuff, and you're setting your camera up and you're sitting back and you're walking around, it'll follow you around. So I just ordered that. But like anything I need, I'm like, let me just order it because I don't want to go out anywhere. But with Kirkland's, you can't.
But with Kirkland's, I will go. I
won't take a shower, but I'll get out of my
get up and go to Kirkland's. That cracks me up. Well, I had never been. You'd mentioned it. I'd never been, but I found one here in Florida, and my husband and I went there during the holidays. It's so pretty. It is so pretty. Like, whoever does their buying,
you smell it because they have those little scented sachet things, right? So you get that big old whiff of Christmas, and it just smells so good. Oh.
I'm like you, Tina. I love candles. Yes. I've got them all over the house.
I really do.
What flavor? Is
This
that
one is actually honey clementine.
That's a Yankee candle.
This is Yankee, yeah.
So I got this one too. This one's called Sunday brunch.
So what does Sunday brunch smell like? Is it like cinnamon, like French toast and whipped cream?
It smells like French toast with whipped cream and cherries.
Okay, I was guessing. I was really close. I'm like, what would Sunday brunch? What was the other one that you had?
This one is called Vanilla Blush.
Okay, so here's another little.
This smells like birthday cake batter.
So when we moved, right, I'm in the middle of a move right now. And when we moved out of our house in Colorado, and we're going to learn about Kimberly's little Eiffel Tower. I think I kept that one that you have on the top of your bookshelf there, but I had a ton of Paris stuff, but I got rid of about half of it. But you know what? I got rid of every one of my candles.
Oh, wow.
Okay, first of all, two things. You've been sending me things that you've been trying to get rid of. Did you not say, Tina, do you like?
I just
my whole office was an Eiffel Tower. Pink, white.
I didn't know that. No, I mean, we would send my son 2 or 3 times a week. We'd fill the back of his car and I'd send him off to the donation location so that he could, I mean, we were just getting rid of and just purging. But I got rid of all the candles because I knew my stuff was going to be in storage for a while. And I didn't want any melting issues. I just didn't know how hot it was going to be. And she's like, it's temperature controlled, Angel. I'm like, no, I'm not risking it. So I just got rid of all my candles. And
say that because I have all my stuff in storage as well. Now I'm thinking, oh shoot, I probably have boxes and boxes of
it's just a me
wax all over my stuff.
No, I'm sure it's just a me freak out thing. But I knew I was moving to Florida. I expected it to be hot. I know it's winter here, and it was probably fine.
It's not winter. Winter in Florida is 65 degrees. Winter in Colorado is 10.
It's freezing. So I have no candles. I have 0 candles going into new house. I counted today. It's 19 days.
For
19 days until we close on our house.
Oh, yay! I can't wait. I want to come down to Florida and stay in the room.
Supposed to be. We thought it was going to be December 8th. So, it's 60 days past, but it's, anyways, we're getting closer.
And I can go and lay in the pool on the pink floaty that I got you. And
Tina bought us this giant flamingo floaty for the swimming pool. I have to show you guys my new pool. I've never had a pool before.
And then you can see my room. I'll show you guys my room.
This is our new pool. So here.
So the pink so beautiful will be right there in the middle, and then my room is directly in the back. So like, is Tina up yet? Yeah, she's already in the pool. She's already on the flamingo getting a nice tan.
Is that first part a hot tub?
It is. They call it a spa, apparently, in Florida. I'm like, because we kept saying it's a hot tub, and they call it a spa here in Florida. So I'm learning.
I never knew that.
That's what it said on the thing, on the documents, and then anybody who I've talked to, they're like, yeah, it's a spa. I'm like, okay.
And ladies, I'm so excited because we have a hot tub on my deck, and we had to order a new top. And because of everything that's going on with COVID, we ordered it, I want to say in August. And I'm so excited. It's getting delivered today. So you ladies know what I'm doing tonight.
Right? Okay, so let me ask you something, because I know a lot of people with hot tubs, especially if they're in the cold, states. When it's snowing, do you go in the hot tub?
Yes, and we got a little bit of snow this morning, so it's really pretty outside.
Yeah, that's like one of the best things, and there's like this extra steam that comes up. You just feel so luxurious, right? Being in a hot tub in the snow.
I am so in a hot tub for my new house.
I run outside in a really thick robe, and then
and then getting out is probably the worst.
Like a coat hanger.
You gotta put your slippers, when you take your little slippers, you gotta put them upside down. so that they don't get snow on them. So then you can put them on and walk back to the house.
Look at you, all these little tips and tricks that you don't know when you don't live in
You
the
don't even think about it, but you put your slippers upside down so then you can wear them to get back in.
Okay, I'm so getting a hot tub when I get my house. So getting a hot tub.
Okay, so Kimberly, I saw you the other day and I saw your bookcase behind you, and we're going to talk about the reason why you have that cute little kids cash register, but I did not see the Eiffel Tower that you had above, and I own that same one. Your story is so much sweeter. Talk about why you've got all this little Parisian stuff in your house.
Well, my husband was sweet enough to actually propose to me under the Eiffel Tower. And actually, I don't know if you can tell from the video, but there's a rose right there next to the foot. And so right after, he actually proposed to me kind of under it, because he was scared to death that he might drop the ring if we were on top.
Oh.
He was terrified that, he was just a little nervous, I guess, and it was just like, if I
marriage proposal has gone wrong.
Yes. So
how romantic, Kimberly.
No kidding.
Yeah, and then he bought me a rose right out, one of the guys that always walks around wanting you to buy roses. He bought me a single red rose right there where he proposed. And so that's why I have the little red rose right there at the foot, because that is
like the most romantic thing ever. I used to be real all into the romance thing. I'm not really too much into it now, but
Tina's she's just had a little rough patch, and so she's being a little cynical, but she is still a romantic at heart. Like it wouldn't take but the right guy to just come along and do all the right things to totally turn her around. That's all it would take.
What you need to do, I work with some of my coaching clients on this.
I'm getting mushed.
You need to take a box and you need to write out 100 qualities that you're looking for.
I did. I have that, like literally like 100 qualities. Like
I'm just saying out loud, if there's anybody listening, right, here's what it takes to just win her over, love on her, treat her like the princess that she is, and she will totally reconvert. She'll come back to the romance.
Reconvert to being a romantic person.
Yes, that's all it will take. Just the right guy coming back in, and she loves gifts, but she'll tell you she loves gifts. Like she's all about the stuff, and Tina, like she wants to touch it, hold it, but this girl needs words of affirmation every single day. Tell her how special she is. Remind her with words, right? Like she needs all the love languages right now, because she's just going through a rough patch. And so words of affirmation, quality time, physical touch, like just holding her hand, or I know you can't be with her, right? But yeah, and then gifts. She thinks it's gifts, but she needs all of
it.
Don't we all though? Like, don't we all?
Right?
We need it all.
Yeah.
I need to teach my son about words of affirmation.
Oh. What is his love language?
What is mine?
No, Michael's. Do you know?
Michael's is quality time. Yeah. Michael's.
See, when you have your love language, that's what you usually push out more, because that's what you know.
Yeah.
So like mine is gifts, obviously, but that's what I do too. I like give gifts. I send gifts to people all the time, and that's how I show my love, is because I give gifts and all that kind of stuff, right? But so with Michael, does he show quality time with you?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh, he does, because remember that time he's like, "Mom, come."
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah. He loves just hanging out together, and so we like spend time like just at the end of the day, just chat like we just visit with each other. And so it's really special. He's 23, he's not a baby, but it's still, right? It's still, Kimberly, what's your love language? Do you know?
Honestly, I don't remember what they are, because it's been a long time since I've read the book, but I always like it when like my husband would do stuff for me, like just
Acts,
go
acts,
in.
Acts of service.
Yes,
That's,
yes. You know,
yeah,
take the
that
trash
my
out,
husband
unload the dishwasher.
is acts of service. And when also then when you know what their love language is, and so when you see them doing it,
Mhm.
because like you might be a words person, right?
Yeah.
But they're always doing, like that's how they're expressing it. It might not be, and
yours.
so it allows you to just kind of translate. Hey, they
Mhm.
might not to be doing it. Like I might be.
What is yours? Yours is acts of service or words of affirmation?
It's words of affirmation, but because I know his is acts of service,
It's acts of service
it's
too.
acts of service.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like
Yeah.
I accept that. I receive that. I'll get my word someplace else.
What about you, Mindee? What's your love language?
Same as yours. And then followed by words of affirmation. Like when I came down this morning, my husband's like, "You look so pretty." And, that just, everybody wants to hear that. But I definitely am just like you.
Yeah. I want to hear it.
Yeah.
I want to hear it. I want you to tell, I want to know. And I'm like that. Like, if you're going to say, "Hey, Angel, I love you." I'm like, why? Like, you better tell me why. You better be able to back that baby up.
Tell me why. And I don't care if you have to tell me yesterday and today and last night. Tell me and tell me and tell me again why. Let me
Yeah, I want to know, right?
I
Angel,
don't know. I just love you.
you're
No,
just
no,
so
no, no.
great. I'm like, yeah, why? Why right now? Like, what did I do? Like, why are you thinking that? I'm like, and they're like,
So
you're
for all you men out there, we're giving you a little love advice. This is some relationship advice from 4 women, all completely different. And we're telling you that we need to know why you love us every single day.
Yes, and tell me I'm just as pretty, right?
Yeah.
Even though, right?
Yeah.
I know
Get
you're
out
lying
the
to me,
shower
but tell me
or
anyways.
right at night with no makeup on, hair all messed up, and sweats and a hoodie, looking tore up.
Yes,
I'm still beautiful.
yes, yes. Lie through your teeth. It's okay.
If you lie, it's okay, but lie for me. You like, baby, you look really good.
All right, well, let's get to know our guest just a little bit better. Kimberly, give us a little bit of background. Tell us about you, who you are, what you do, all that fabulous stuff.
Well, sure. Yeah, so my name's Kimberly Sulfridge, and I actually live in the Dallas area, Plano, just north of it. If a lot of people don't know where that is exactly, but I grew up here. So I'm a Texas girl, born and raised. So hopefully my Texas twang does not pop out too often. I've been on video a lot lately, and I've noticed every now and then it comes out fairly thick, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I am so embarrassed. I know I have certain words that it pops out on, so hopefully it will not.
You don't have the big Dallas hair.
No, that was back in high school.
The higher the hair, the closer to God.
Right. Yeah, no. So yeah, I kind of left that behind in high school, but no, I actually went to college here in Dallas at SMU, and did study abroad a little bit in Austria, but came back here, and I've always been an entrepreneur. Both of my parents were entrepreneurs, so I kind of grew up in that atmosphere. So it was kind of inevitable that I would fall into that. And so I've had a couple of businesses, some maybe not as successful, but you kind of twist and turn. I mean, anybody that's been an entrepreneur will understand that. And I've had some that I have sold and kind of moved past. And then I'm actually in the process of starting a new one because COVID actually kind of hurt my last business. And it wasn't that it wasn't that I had to give it up, so to speak, but it was more I had to make a choice. And I just felt like an opportunity had been laid at my feet. And so I grabbed it. I took it. And so I consider it a great thing. And so now I'm doing something that I've wanted to do for about 20 years and just never found the time for it. And so I am super excited about that. And I can't wait to tell you a little bit more about it.
Well, tell us.
Well, it's actually called the Kids Money Project, which I think you noticed the little register behind me. That was actually
I had that register when I was younger too.
Oh, I think everybody did. It's so funny. It came out in 1974, apparently, which is actually
the year I was born.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. And but no, when I started this Kids Money Project, my husband came up with the idea. He's like, you remember those cash registers when we were kids? I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, I had one. And he's like, you need one of those. It's kind of, just kind of sitting behind you or whatever. And I tell you,
it had real money and everything in it.
It did.
Yeah, this actually has the little coins with it and everything. And so yeah, but no, the Kids Money Project is basically, I wanted to get out there. Basically, parents need to start talking to their kids about money at much earlier ages than I think they probably realize. And I kind of discovered this when basically it was right after I graduated college. I will fully admit I was somewhat sheltered growing up. I mean, like, I didn't even realize college was an option. I was always just told I was going to college. And so, I didn't even realize it was like you had an option, you didn't have to go. And so, no, but when I graduated, kind of got out into the real world, probably for the first time where I was around other people that were quite a bit different than me. You kind of get in your little bubble, and so I started realizing I had a much different view about money. And even a lot of my friends didn't have the same view. And I thought, well, that's weird. We all kind of grew up the same way. We went to the same schools. And of course, naturally, just kind of being naive, I assumed I learned it in school. It's where you learn stuff, right? In school. And then all of a sudden I kind of started thinking about it, and I'm like, I didn't actually learn this in school. And I, started kind of realizing, it was my mother. She, it's not like she sat me down at the kitchen table and said, okay, this is how this works. This is how this works. But she kind of just involved me in their finances. And then after my parents divorced, she even bounced things off of me. Now, I'm sure she took my opinion with a grain of salt. 14-year-olds don't exactly have the best financial advice, I'm sure. But, I was listening through all of this and learning. And again, with them being entrepreneurs, and, I was free child labor. So, I was constantly underfoot, and you just pick things up. And, so I realized that was kind of how I learned this. And so then it was like, well, why aren't other parents talking to their kids like this? My mom obviously did, so why aren't others? And that one took me a little longer to figure out, but then I realized, nobody talked to them about money this way. And so it's just not thought about, it's just not, these
So,
conversations
Kimberly,
are not had.
when you talk about talking to kids about money, like what kind of things did your mom talk to you about, or what kind of things? I mean,
are you teaching financial literacy to children?
So that's actually where I differ a little bit. So I'm actually more talking to the parents about talking to their kids about money. And really the main reason I do that is most of a child's learning is what they see and what they're experiencing. So, I can tell the child this and that, if I did online courses or something like that, and I can tell the child everything that they should be doing as they grow up. But if they're watching their parents do something else,
yeah,
that's actually what they're going to do.
Yeah, they'll model, right? I mean, kids do. They tend to model what they're around. I mean, we do that with our friends. We do that with our, even as entrepreneurs, we model what others are doing more than what we've learned.
Exactly.
So I mean, are you talking budgeting? Are you talking investing? Are you talking, what kinds of things?
So yes and yes. Basically, if it has to do with money, we are talking about it. So, we're covering things like budgeting and even things like allowance. A lot of parents struggle with how to do an allowance. Do they do an allowance? Do they do more of a commission base? And, allowance is one of those words. It's kind of been muddied up. People think of it as just giving money. But the thing is, a child has to have some money in order to learn how to manage money. But there are ways of doing that where you're not just giving your child everything.
Well, nowadays, there's all these little debit cards and things like that where you can teach your child, that there's money on there. If you want something, you can go and get it, but you have to have the money for it, and you have to budget in there.
I'm curious, are you taking this program into schools, into the PTO? Is that how you're integrating reaching parents across the country?
No, so right now it is just so I actually have a subscription, like a membership that is kind of on Facebook, but I actually have my own personal network that I'm running it through there. And since so many people are on Facebook, I actually have a private Facebook group that I use for it as well. And so we're just feeding out information daily through that group, and we've kept it at a very low cost, mostly because I just want to get this information out there, because once I realized that people just didn't know it, and I mean that kind of surprised me, because I mean it was so readily available to me. My parents talked to me about mortgages and I mean taxes and all this kind of stuff that most people just don't think of until maybe their child is actually having to do something for the first time. And my parents took me with them to buy a car, which is not the most fun thing in the world.
I mean, for hours you're sitting there going,
oh yeah, watching that whole negotiation process, going, oh my gosh.
I remember, Kimberly, my husband and I went through the Dave Ramsey financial peace program through our church years ago. And then we actually became facilitators of that program. And that, I think, was, my kids were watching us go through that and learning that. And they were fascinated by it. They had a lot of questions about it. And honestly, Kimberly, like, and you're kind of like talking to me, like, it never even dawned on me to have those conversations with them, right? Because they don't need to know about buying a car. They know they're 12, right? They don't need, this is not the stage of life that they are in. Therefore it just never, they were completely fascinated. And even now, as they're watching us go through this process now of buying a house, they're very involved. They're very involved in the conversations that we're having and doing our taxes. And but these were not conversations that we had with them as children, nor were they conversations my parents had with us.
And then they see you as an entrepreneur, because being an entrepreneur, you have to keep so many records of everything.
Yes.
As you can write so many things off being an entrepreneur. So even seeing them, you do that with them, Angel, they're going to see that being an entrepreneur is probably the better way to go.
Oh, it is. Well, and I think because it's so in front of you all the time. I mean, I hope my mother would have taught me, if she just had like a regular job, that it would have occurred to her to have these conversations with me as well. And I don't know for sure. My mom was one of these very forward thinking. I mean, she came from, a time where, women just really didn't go to college. And not that my grandparents were like mean people or anything, but they helped both of her older brothers go to school. But women weren't necessarily, they're supposed to get married and just go have a family. And my mom's
different times. Yeah, they were definitely different times. It's so funny how even just these days, like, we're beating up that generation for different things that happened. I'm like, they were very different times back then.
Oh, absolutely. They thought differently. And I'll say my grandparents did actually apologize to her later once they realized, that wasn't, we shouldn't have done that. If we helped them, we should have helped you. Fortunately, my mom was, stubborn, hard-headed, German. And she was like, okay, that's it. That's not what I want. And so she hopped in her car as soon as she graduated high school, headed to the first big city from the farm, which happened to be Dallas. And she started working, and she was able to do a little bit of school, but because of finances, ended up not being able to graduate. And I think that was why it was such a big deal for me to go to school, was, she was like, that is not going to be
an option for you. It's
exactly.
I wasn't given an option either, though. Like, it just wasn't even talked about. I was going to college and it didn't matter.
Right.
I was never, it was never course A or B. I was just going to school. But it's interesting because thinking back now, it wasn't really my parents that instilled in me about money. It was my grandmother. And she taught me the relevance of the importance of credit and establishing credit early and what that meant. And I'm so grateful for that because, once I went off to college, I had already had somewhat of a knowledge and a base. And it wasn't like I was just thrown into the world. And had it not been everything she taught me.
Well, and that's, you said it perfectly right there. is when they have this knowledge and they get out into the real world, they're not just constantly hit, like a deer in the headlights going, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do right here. And, they may not know it all because maybe they haven't bought a house before. And that first time, especially when you're signing all those papers, you're like, oh my gosh, am I signing my life away?
A big stack of papers that you're like, okay, what does this mean? I'm
Oh, yeah,
just like glazed over.
exactly. But they have a better, like I know when I bought my first house, I had a much better understanding of what I was getting into. And not that it wasn't just a little scary, but I can't imagine, and I don't know, maybe it wouldn't have been as scary because, ignorance is bliss, right? So, but, I knew what I was getting myself into. And it's just having that knowledge when you step out there is so much, you have a much better chance of being successful in life. And, like another thing that we talk about, because like student loan debt is just out of this world right now.
It's
And
crazy. I have one in college and one going in a year. And the one that's going to go to college is going to cost us more money than the one that's already there.
oh yeah,
I
well,
want to
let's
go to
let's
Georgetown.
talk afterwards because I have some things that can help you. But that's one of the things we talk about, in this program as well, is because we know of ways that yes, it takes a little work and it takes some choices, but you can graduate college without being massively in debt. And you can actually graduate college without having any debt at all. But there are things you need to do. There's work that needs to be done, and there's decisions that'll have to be made. And if you're willing to do that, and again, that's my mom taught me that. She had saved money for me to go to school. And I knew that, but she was like, but I want you going out there. I want you working for grants and scholarships. And, I want you
I mean, want you still involved with that process. I think that
absolutely. And because of that, we ended up kind of making a deal at the end because there was actually money left over in the college fund that she had for me because of all the extra work that I put into it. And, so we kind of made a deal at the end, but,
well, that was nice. That was nice.
Well, I got to my senior year and she said, hey, we have extra money in your account. And I had actually chosen to live at home to just keep, again, the costs down and everything. And she said, there's enough money that if you want to live on campus this year, you can do that. She goes, or if you want to stay at home one more year, she's like, I'll make a deal with you and I will give you that money after you graduate as kind of a nest egg, and that was a tough decision. I got to tell you, it was a horrible time because I was like, I wanted out. And again, nothing wrong with my mother or where I was
just that
living.
age, right? It's time to spread your wings. Yes.
Well, we have to take a quick commercial break. We have Mindee and Kimberly here today. We are going to come back and still talk about money and then get to know Mindee a little bit more, but stay with us. We're going to be right back.
We are super excited to have this conversation going on this morning. This is real life stuff. And that's what we love doing here on the morning show, is having that unscripted conversation to be that bright start to your morning. We want to say thank you to our 3 sponsors who sponsor the Angel and Tina Morning Show, the Zandra TV Network. They are going through a nice little makeover right now. I'm super excited. Can't wait to show you their new reveal. But the Zandra TV Network is digitally streamed on all those fabulous digital streaming platforms: Apple TV, Roku, Fire TV, Android, Chromecast, and more. If you've ever wanted to host your own TV show, you can schedule a discovery call by going to their website, beonztv.com. That's beonztv.com. She has an amazing incubator program that she teaches and walks you through how to be a producer of your own show. So super excited to be featured on the Zandra TV Network. You can watch the Angel and Tina Morning Show wherever you get all your favorite on-demand shows. Bliss by the Lake Boutique is our clothing sponsor. They get fresh new inventory in every single week. Really fun stuff. Anything from the keyboard up to full wardrobe outfits. And so check out their fashion shows and their trunk shows that they host on their website. Follow them at Bliss by the Lake Boutique. And then Sonic VA is your video assistant. Your guys are putting together all this content, create the raw content, send it to Sonic VA. They will edit it polish it, put it all together, and make sure that it is optimized for YouTube. Make sure that you are leveraging the tool that is going to grow your business the fastest. Video. You create the content. Let Sonic VA be your video assistant. And when you mention the Angel and Tina Morning Show, you're going to get a 5% or a 10% discount off your first 5 videos. That's sonicva.com/video. sonicva.com/video. Thank you so much for being our sponsor. Bliss by the Lake, Zondra TV. We're super excited. So, Kimberly, how do people get involved? Like, where do they go for all of your tips and tricks and membership for all this money talk?
Well, you can go to our website, which is thekidsmoneyproject.com, and it is with a Z. Kids is with a Z. Now, if you type in S, it'll redirect you. So, no worries there. But that's probably the best place. I mean, obviously, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram and stuff, and it is just the Kids Money Project. So, we're fortunate to have our branding kind of all follow all the Kids Money Project. But you can find us on any of those, and our website obviously can redirect you to any of those social media sites as well.
Fabulous. All right, Miss Mindee, give us a little background and your story of what you're doing and what you're up to these days.
Well, thank you so much. I am from New Jersey. I was born here, and I've lived here all my life. And I'm very much looking forward, after we send my youngest away to college, moving somewhere where it's warm, preferably on a beach. I went to school in New Jersey, and the beginning of my sophomore year, I met now my husband. We've been together for, we were together for 10 years before we got married. So we're now together since 1997, married. And he is my best friend and business partner. And I have 2 amazing boys. One is 17, one is 19. And I also have a cute little puppy named Kobe, who has just been such a joy, being that it's been really bad here in New Jersey. It's actually, the numbers are higher now than when we first went into lockdown. So as you can see, I have to have my hair up because where I get my hair dyed got closed down. So I'm waiting until Monday until Kevin can come do my hair. But,
I don't have lashes anymore. I've not because they're closed down, but because I haven't been able to find a new place. But I feel the suffering is real.
The suffering. I learned over the time in quarantine to actually dye my own hair. And then we opened back up, and now he's closed again. But it's all good. It looks good when you throw it up.
Angel, aren't you glad that I didn't, my Jersey accent didn't come out when she started talking?
Shocking, actually.
It is shocking.
So a little bit about me. Right out of school, I worked for an event marketing company for 10 years. And then I transitioned into very high level specialty and device sales. And I did that for 17 years. And then I got to the point where I really wanted to be more present for my 2 boys. And when you're not looking for opportunity, it just comes to you. Mm-hmm. And I had never heard of direct sales, being out and about, working in corporate America for many years. I don't know now. Well, now I could say why people probably didn't approach me. Sometimes working with people all over the world now, I think when somebody sees somebody having success, they're afraid to ask that person to take a look at what they're doing. And, like I said, this entrepreneurship just kind of came to me when I was looking for a solution. And I have never looked back. I resigned from my corporate job almost 8 years ago. And it's just been an incredible journey. I stepped into a health and wellness company. And from that, I really learned that to help people be successful, it was really about stepping up into leadership and coaching. And I had been exposed to the Tony Robbins community while I was in corporate America. I had went to Business Mastery, and I stepped back in and went to some events. And then I decided to get a coaching certificate in general coaching. And from there, it was just natural. I also got a certification. So I'm a certified nutritionist, and I got a certification in NLP because I really realized after 2.5 years that building an organization, building an infrastructure. It was really about helping people to become the best versions of themselves.
Mhm.
And now I'm building a global business in health and wellness. I absolutely love the products. I love the company. I love what they stand for. And I'm also working with women all around the world, helping them to step in to what that next version looks like. And in 2020, it was, I'm so grateful to say that when things got really bad for so many people, it was my best year, but it was my best year because I was able to really, it's all about helping people. And through all of this, I was really able to help people pivot, whether it be, in the businesses they were developing or taking that to the next level or stepping in and having an opportunity, whether it was that somebody put on an extra 15 pounds, which I put on 11. I've now taken off most of it. But for so many people, that had happened because people weren't just used to being home all the time.
Yeah.
So
That refrigerator door kept just opening.
yeah, it did. I think for me, it was too many Swedish fish. It was everybody living on top of each other. And I would just be like, oh, just a few fish.
Right.
And,
Yeah, we're home more. There's more treats in the house, it seems like, than there were before because we've got extra family members. We're not as active. We're not walking to and from our cars, right? We're not walking in and out of buildings. Like
We're not walking all over the airport.
right. We're not as active. And yeah, we are visiting, I think, the refrigerator. Like it was all stacked against us. So
Yeah, it really
Mindee, like everybody can relate to this. This is definitely a real thing for so many of us. And just being hyper aware of, we really have control and we've just let it go.
yeah. And, I think like myself, you just lost that awareness. Like you said, there's more snacks. I had my older son who he goes to ASU out in Arizona. They, totally shut down and he decided to come home for a month. So we had all his snacks. And then my younger one, his snacks, my husband was home and there was a lot more here.
Yeah.
Plus,
yeah.
You mentioned an airport. I have never been in New Jersey this long because I usually travel all over, the country. And, I have literally taken one trip in the past 9 months.
Yeah.
And I flew out to help my son because he had one of those little electric scooters, decided to do a trick, fell, and not only broke his arm, but needed surgery.
Oh.
So flew out to help him. And then I flew on to Utah for a business meeting. And then I came back.
Yeah, we've all we were so used to traveling and everywhere going, and we've all just kind of, I tell people I've turned into a mole, right? I'm just like home all.
I know. I was just telling somebody yesterday that I was like, all of 2019, I traveled probably 19 times, like 19 different airports and going and going and going. And then in 2020, January, February, March, I went 10 different places. And then in March, I was like, I haven't been anywhere.
Came to a halt. I had a trip booked to go to Costa Rica for I was going with 3 other of the Tony Robbins Platinum Partners. And we were going to a medical spa where there's just all types of self-care, self-love. And I was going up until the last minute. I was like, I'll be fine. And then they shut down the resort and Costa Rica. So needless to say, I didn't make it to go have breakfast with the monkey.
Oh, I know my passport is expiring and I'm now waiting for my new passport. And there's something about being at home during COVID, which is one thing, but being here and not having a passport, that messes with my head.
It's so funny you said that because my husband and I, our 10-year anniversary was May of 2020. And so we were actually booked to go back to Europe and we had bought our tickets and everything, but our passports were expired. Well, we sent them in January to get renewed. Well, they shut down the offices in March and we hadn't gotten them yet and they held them. And we didn't get them until I think it was end of July before we actually got them. Now, obviously our trip was canceled and all that, so it wasn't a big deal, but it was weird not to have a passport.
It is weird not to have a passport.
Got expired. So I have, in fact, I just printed out my paperwork to get more. I was like, oh my gosh, no.
Yeah.
So where are you ladies going to go when we can travel again?
Well, so I just moved to I'm in Florida and we just discovered we can get to Jamaica so quickly from here. And so we were going to go to Cancun thinking it was closer, but we have to fly through Houston. I mean right now with the way
Well, you're kind
airlines
of
are.
going on a little trip this weekend, Angel.
Oh, I am. I am. Oh my,
She's like, oh yes.
where am I
Where are
going?
you going?
We're gonna go down to the Florida Keys. I've never been down there,
Oh,
and
you're
so
gonna
without a
love it.
passport, I'm.
What part are you staying?
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
She's like, I don't know.
I don't know.
We've
It is
been
so it's so
twice
pretty down
recently,
there.
and my favorite part is Isla Mujeres. We stayed at this great little resort. The last time we went, we stayed right in the Keys, which it was the middle of summer. It was really hot. It was very humid. But and it was just very commercialized. But Isla Mujeres, if you get the chance, if you're close, they have the best restaurants,
Okay.
amazing
Well,
food, whether you
my
want
husband,
Italian.
When I went, I had my divorce party in Key West. I had like 6 of my girlfriends. We all flew down to Key West and we stayed right there in the Keys. And it was the best time.
my husband is a cyclist, and there's a pedestrian bridge that goes along the highway that you can cycle across the ocean. So, yeah, so we want to do that.
It
And
really,
Are
Neat.
you
it
gonna
really
cycle or is
so
it just
pretty down
him?
there.
say that again, Kimberly.
Are you gonna cycle or is it just him gonna do it?
No, I'll do it. I'll have to rent a bike, but
So will you go Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or are you going for nice?
yeah, so I have moved all my Friday evening or late afternoon stuff to Thursday. So I have Friday afternoon off, and yeah, so we'll just do a quick little weekend. My first real
Right.
anything
And
since
listen, they have the best key
here.
lime pie. Woo.
Yes.
I'm making
Best
all these
key
little
lime down
notes. I'm
there.
making all these little notes. Okay, so Mindee, how do people get involved with you? Like, where do they go to get plugged in with all the programs and stuff that you offer?
If anybody wants to reach out to me, the best way is to just send me a DM on Facebook, or you could actually, do you have show notes?
Yeah, you can put your information in the comments on Facebook Live.
Okay, I'll drop my information in the show notes. But if anybody just needs like what everybody's experienced to get in your, whether you want to put on lean muscle, whether or not you want to lose weight, I will coach you through the process. And, what I would say to everybody that's going through this is to really take time each day to honor and do something for yourself. Because what I found from working with women all over the country, all over the world, actually, because I'm in 17 countries, is that you need to take time for yourself, because so many of us are here with, whether it be your husband or whether it be your husband and your children, you need to do something every day to honor yourself, whether that's a hot bath or light a candle. And really, if you find that you're in a funk right now, incorporate daily exercise. If you're not doing anything right now, move your body.
Mm.
And you can also always change your state by just putting on some music and getting up and just moving. And that is, something that for all of your audience, anybody that's listening in live or watching the replay, take that to honor yourself. And if you want any more information, you can reach out and I'd love to connect with you.
I love that. Those are great pieces of advice, Mindee, right? Like, do something to honor yourself every day. And I love the language that you put there. And of course, yeah, moving, just get up and move. Your watch reminds you every hour, stand up, walk around.
Mine does
And
the same thing.
yeah, right. And
I
it's
set
about right
timers
now.
on my phone.
But
So if I
maybe
get
I
really
like-
busy, I know to get up
Yeah.
and just move for a little bit.
I like what you said about just putting some music on, because it kind of music to me, like I love listening to music, and I can just put some old high school music on and I end up getting up there and jamming out. And dancing is a form of exercise, and I love, love, love to dance. So, get up there and do whatever it is that you love to do. I love that.
Do you want to, Kimberly, any little tips for our audience today that you want to share?
I'll kind of tell the one thing is just start talking to your kids early. You know, I think the one thing that kind of surprised me when I started researching a lot of this was I don't know that I would have actually told people to start as early as what I found, but by age 3, your children are actually already understanding basic money concepts. And actually by age 7, this was the scary one for me. By 7, many of their money habits are already set. So if you're not talking to them, they are, you know, hopefully you have good money habits and they're watching you because that's where they're getting it. But just start the conversation early and then just keep it going.
Well, you know, they're playing all those little video games and stuff that have credits, right? And, you know, and they're learning different things and spending what they've got. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, very early on it. I mean, it kind of surprises me, but then if you spend a minute thinking about it, it's like that absolutely makes sense. They're learning numbers, they're learning math, and they can start to grasp some of those concepts. Well, this has been fabulous, ladies. Thank you so much for coming on and being our guests here this morning. Totally enjoyed the conversation that we have. It's unscripted. And we know we have a lot of folks who are a little nervous about coming on the morning show. They have a lot of questions, you know, want to know exactly what it is. But at the end of it, we've gotten to know each other, I think, a little bit better than we would in a typical presentation, get to peel back the layers of what really makes our audience or our guests tick, and get to know them a whole lot better. So follow them on social media, check out their programs, and stay connected, and follow the Angel and Tina Morning Show. The energy, the collaboration, the momentum that we have going into 2021 is amazing. We are so blessed. We've created these incredible platforms, these incredible relationships, and it's all shining through here in 2021. And it can be, right? It is really, the deck is stacked in our favor to have an amazing year, no matter where you are starting in business, even if it's just an idea, how you can plant that seed and water it and watch it grow. So stay close. If you are looking for more media exposure and publicity, grab my complimentary media starter kit on my website, makeyourbigimpact.com. That's makeyourbigimpact.com. If you're looking for more stages, you're looking for speaking opportunities, you're looking to get published, we have all the resources right here. So makeyourbigimpact.com.
I don't know about you, but I've learned so much today from both of these ladies. Amazing, amazing. Thank you guys so much. I'm Tina Torres, your client retention expert, otherwise known as the gratitude specialist. And if you're struggling with attracting the right clients, knowing how to connect to them, or even if you just don't know how to convert them into clients, I have a complimentary guide that'll help you grow your audience organically, online and offline, connect and nurture those relationships authentically, and then take those relationships and turn them into paying clients. You can grab your free guide if you text the word connection to 26786. That is the word connection to 26786. You can still grab your Beyond Gratitude book today on Amazon for $5. You can go to beyondgratitudebook.com. The results are coming in. The reviews are coming in. I'm getting so excited because everybody is loving all the tips. So you can still grab your book today for only $5. We are Angel and Tina on the Angel and Tina Morning Show, where we come to you live every weekday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern. We are so grateful to you, our audience, for being our loyal fans, and we hope we brought a bright start to your day. Have a fabulous day, guys. We will see you guys tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.